Okay, my name is James Williams Jr., so I'm going to read some stuff to y'all because there's a lot of things, that I want to address on the subject matter of the Witch Rider. Alright? A lot of people are quick to jump to the words blood paralysis, so I won't be able to see this camera. Hopefully, you guys will still be able to see me. I'm going to read some definitions as best I can, some from Wikipedia, some from my cell phone, and here we go. Alright, so I have blood paralysis here from Wikipedia. And what it says is, damn it, I totally over scrolled that shit. It says the page of blood paralysis does not exist. You can create it. It can be created considering the research results to see whether the topic is already covered. So paralysis is a loss of muscle function for one or more muscles. Paralysis can be accompanied by the loss of feeling and sensory loss in an affected area. Facial nerve paralysis. Facial nerve paralysis is a common problem with the involves paralysis of the structure inverted by the facial nerves, pathway and facial nerves. Alright, I don't know what the hell this word is, so I'm going to spell it out for y'all because y'all know how I do. P-O-L-I-O-M-E, M-Y-E-L-I-T-I-S. Redirect infertile paralysis, often is called polio, infantile paralysis, whatever, is an infectious disease caused by whatever the hell this word is, Poliovirus. It has virus in it. And this hyperkalamitic pediatric paralysis is a genetic disorder that occurs in human horses. What? In humans that has common horses. We're known to impressive syndrome after. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Tick paralysis. Drinking blood meal toxic causes symptoms within 2 to 7 days after being bit by both legs. Paralysis. And it goes into more things. So generally, if you type up this, and I'm gonna go over here to the illness section. So Encyclopedia Britannica Paralysis Volume 20, it doesn't say anything except for Encyclopedia Britannica, etc., etc. And it says illness begins to grow thin. Remember, they said that the white tumor or paralysis. I missed a school something. I don't think that's relevant to what I'm trying to get at anyway. Um, Stroke. Blood supply to the brain is restricted. Brain cells begin to die, which in the case leads to brain damage and often results in paralysis and head injuries. Alright, so we pretty much understand that paralysis is the loss of function for one or more muscles. So this blood paralysis that people are talking about, which I'm telling y'all is the fucking Witch Rider. So I'm gonna give you another from the phone now, another reference from paralysis. Paralysis is the loss of muscle function in part of your body. It happens when something goes wrong in with the ways message passes between your brain and your muscles. Paralysis can be complete or partial and often occurs in one or both sides of your body. Alright, and then you can go to more results, and it has paralysis, hemoglobin, and medical something. So I'm going to go to that after I look up blood paralysis. It has no definition. It has this crap right here. You guys can just Google this shit and figure out what the hell it is. But it's no symptoms may include paralysis, because I don't know what none of this stuff is. I'm not a fucking doctor. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. I believe if this is the word hemoglobin, which it probably is not, hemoglobin is another word for blood. So, medication for paralysis is the same thing, loss of blood for the part of the body. It goes into a little bit of deeper detail. It can occur on both or one side of the body, arms and legs, etc. It is due to strokes, nerve disease, and other things that I can't pronounce, and Bell Patsy's and polio or polio or whatever the hell. Causes of paralysis, Christopher and Diana Reeves as a source of center. Newly paralysis says something about Christopher and Diana Reeves. And y'all know that Christopher Reeves is Superman. And if you don't know, now you do know. And if you don't believe me, then you can go ahead and Google that and fact check that shit. So, paralysis. We understand what that means. Alright. Now I got a lot of other definitions in here. Is paralysis does it hurt or whatever? I'm pretty sure it probably does, but you probably won't feel it because paralysis basically means the loss of function of one or more muscles in your body. Alright. Unlike the form of pediatric paralysis, people with hypo-PP have normal thyroid, I guess, functions, but they are low blood levels during the episode. Alright, so we know that paralysis occurs when someone loses the ability to move or more muscles to one or more muscles in the isolation. So, for all you nerds out there, paralysis has something to do with your muscles. It has had a damn thing to do with your blood. Your blood does not fucking touch your muscles, really. It touches your veins that are attached to your muscles to make everything function. So blood paralysis clearly does not exist. So now let me take you back into these things about the Witch Rider. Let me see if I can Google that. Ah, crap. I forgot to get rid of blood paralysis. Let's see if there's other people out here that has decided to do that than me. No, that looks like that's something sexual. That's not there, so you don't think I'm crazy. Songs. Witch Rider music. Witch Rider is a rock group. No, I'm not looking for them, buddy. I'm looking for the lore of the Witch Rider. Maybe I better type legend in this damn thing. L-E-D-G. Damn it, it's H. Witch Rider Legends. Search for results. Alright. It went right back to the rock group. Someone really doesn't want me to find this thing. Or it's a cover up. Let's take off that. And maybe legend and myth. Let's see if they give me. It went right back to this goddamn rock group. I'm sorry, they may have good music. I don't know. I've never heard of them today. Mythology and anthology of newspaper. Legends of Britain and Ireland. Damn, Tomb Raider. I want to go see that movie, but no. Okay. So apparently, either there's a government conspiracy for me not to find Witch Rider, or they haven't had enough people that's been attacked by this damn thing to come out in existence. Alright, so I'm going to explain this to you, and you guys can take this with a grain of salt because my experience may be different from other people's experience, but I'm going to tell my experience, and you guys are either going to like it or you're not. Now, FYI, I'm going to leave off certain names and certain things of certain people so that it doesn't go ballistically crazy, or family members that are out will be like, oh, why you got me on Facebook, or why you got me on YouTube, why you putting me through all this shit. Okay, so for those who suffer from blood paralysis, first let me clear this up. Your blood moves at yay so many miles a minute, a second, or whatever. Because when your blood stops moving, your ass is gonna die. Alright? Your heart is always pumping. Even a person who's dead, his heart will pump for almost 3 days. Maybe more, maybe less. I guess it really depends on how good a shape that heart's in. You know, when a person dies, it's only viable for between 1 to 2 days, maybe 1 to 2 hours. I'm not a doctor, so don't follow me on that. But the fact of the matter is that when a person dies, their heart will still beat because you're not really dead unless your brain dead, supposedly. And no one's come back from brain death that I know of. Well, personally, I don't know if anybody's ever come back from brain death, and if they have, no one's ever really said anything, you know. But I'm not gonna say it can't be done because many things are impossible until they're actually done. Thank you, Mass Effect 2, for that quote. But I'm a, um, I'm a realist, and I'm gonna tell you, I do believe in ghosts and goblins and spirits because I do believe in God, and if you can believe in God, you can believe in that stuff too. So let me keep it real. Let me keep it as real as possible. Since I was 7 years old, I have been plagued by this legendary thing known as the Witch Rider. I'm sure you all are thinking, "Oh, James, you're fucking nuts. You're crazy." Hey, believe what you want, but when something is creeping in your bedroom and sits on top of your chest and is choking the fucking shit out of you, and you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and the only person that can hear you is you, there you go. You've been hit by the Witch Rider. Alright? And he's not a smooth criminal, he or she. And it plagued me from the age of 7 until the age of 15. It got me almost every other night. The younger I was, the more frequent the attacks. As I got older, the attacks went from like almost every day to maybe 2 or 3 times a week until like maybe once or twice a month. So in those years of me being attacked, you would think, sorry, had to pause my game because I had to reset it. You would think that blood paralysis would have killed me as many times as I've been attacked by this damn thing, and why hasn't it? Well, let me say again, because blood paralysis does not exist. Paralysis in itself is the loss or the functions, as I've read the definitions to you guys 1,000 times already, is the loss of function of your muscles. Your organs are not in the same category as your muscles. Blood pumps through your heart by veins and through your body. Oxygen comes in to fuel the heart, and you're breathing at night. So this blood paralysis thing is bullshit. And I think that's just a way to deter people from trying to look into this witch rider thing. So I'm going to tell you from experience, and this might be a two-part video because this shit is something that you might want to look into. With blood paralysis, you can't take the chance of it being such a thing as a fact because paralysis means you can't move. Your blood is not going to stop pumping through your body at any time until your ass is dead. And I'm going to tell you this because the simple fact of the matter is really quite simple. Blood still flows through the body and the limbs of people who are paraplegic. Now, if you're an amputee, the blood doesn't go all the way to where that bone is or whatever. Wherever your limb stops, that's where the blood's gonna stop. It's not gonna go into the phantom limbs or any of that shit. But the whole concept of blood paralysis is bullshit. Now let me get back onto my story. So since I was 7 years old, I had an uncle who had the witch ride him. And I didn't believe him, I laughed at him. Every time I saw him, I laughed at him. But then about a couple of weeks of him telling me this story, the son bitch came after me. And the witch rider came after me with a motherfucking vengeance. It never stopped attacking me. I mean, it never. As I got older and stronger, it stopped the frequent attacks. But prior to that, when I was defenseless, because I didn't understand supernatural shit. And the thing with supernatural shit, you have to understand it for it to leave you alone. No. And I mean, this thing literally attacked me on a motherfucking daily goddamn basis for a good part of those 7 years. And then I would ask people about it, and then old hats, old black people, because they're the only people I know. We didn't really get to know our Native American side on my father's side or my mother's side. We just know that we have Native American in us, and that's pretty much where our ethnicity culturally ends right there. So I asked my great grandmother, who was a Cherokee, and she never really got into it. So I guess they don't really go after Cherokee, or if they do, there's a Cherokee shaman or something that I probably could have asked, but it never apparently went after her because she never gave me anything. I asked my dad's mom, who's also Cherokee, and she said it's never really happened to her. And if it has, she doesn't remember it. But since they're both dead, I can't confirm or deny anything that I just said. Now, I can remember talking to them, and then I can remember getting something, but not a definite answer. Then when my great grandmother passed, she had lost her legs, and when my grandmother passed, she had lost her legs. And my mom's mom, I don't think the witch riders ever happened to her, but she's had some supernatural experiences of her own, and none of us want to be classified as kooky or crazy. So I'm going to continue this video on another video.